everyone, Jenny here today. So today we're going to be making a little pair of shorts for my son. With this whole quarantine going on, and I haven't really been able to buy any summer clothes for him yet, and it's getting kind of warm up here in Ohio. So I found an old shirt that I bought at Goodwill for myself to make a off-shoulder shirt a couple years ago. So what I've done is use one of a pair of patterns that I've already bought for my son to make him a pair of jammies. And I made a pair of shorts from it before, so what I did, I just reprinted it out, got my pattern. I'm using about a 4T because I expect him to be in 3Ts this summer, and why not make it a little bit bigger, because I tend to sew a little small anyways, and potentially he could wear them again next year. So I just cut the shirt up, used the back piece, and got two mirror images for this pattern. What I have done is added on about an inch or so space at the top, because the pattern actually calls for a certain type of elastic that doesn't twist or anything like that. I don't have elastic with me, so I'm going to just fold it down, and so I added on an extra inch so that I have plenty to work with, and I'm going to do a tie instead. So I cut out some fabric from the sleeve, one of the sleeves or one of the sides of the shirt. I'm not sure exactly what part of the shirt I cut up for this. And I got two strips, and I'm going to sew them together and make one long strip and make a tie. So let me show you what I got done. Alright, so here is the pattern that I got from Heidi and Finn. I can put the link to the pattern down below at Etsy. It comes with where you can make, this actually is, of course, extended. It makes the lounge pants as well. It has the skinny pajamas option, then it has a couple shirt options, and then, of course, a frilly shirt option for the girl side. So if you're interested in that, I put that down below for you, so you can check out that pattern. So as you can see, I just added on an extra inch, and this is, I'm pretty sure this is the 4T size. And it actually goes this way to make that. So here's my two pieces here, and they are mirror, and I'm just going to sew along here. So I'm going to sew this side and this side. This is your back, I do believe. Yes. And want to get those two, and then you fold them out, and then you sew down to make your pant legs. So then, as you can see here, I got two strips here, and I don't think one strip will be long enough to go around my son's waist, so I'm going to sew two of them together, and we'll actually find the two ends here, and you kind of lay them out like cross like that, and sew down the seam, and it will, so one of the ways, I think it's the other way, or you have to sew it this way, I think, and to lay it flat to make a strip. It's kind of like what you do with bias, but of course I didn't cut this on bias, next time I'm not using it for bias, but to make long strips of bias, you're doing the exact same thing, where you'll sew here and then sew down this direction. So when you fold it on an angle, it makes one long strip. And as you can see, I don't know exactly how long this is. I just cut from the white stripe to the two white stripes next to it. So it's about 1 3/4 of an inch or so. So basically, once I get a strip, I'm going to fold it in half like this, then fold it down again, and then sew it. That's not how I want to fold it, but it'll be about that size. So I'll get to that point when you'll see what I'm talking about clearer when I get to that point. So let's go ahead and get this pinned and sewed down there. Alright, so I got it sewed on both those sides here, and I did do an overcast stitch. This is on my brother machine here. I used number 6 here, and the type of foot I'm using, I believe, is a G. Yes, the G. And that will allow you to do overcast stitches. So I don't need it at this particular next step. So I'll put my regular foot back on here. See if I can do it with one hand. Probably not. Probably gonna have to have both hands. Oh. Just my fingers are not working with me, and I'm sorry. I probably did not have my phone to see me even try to do that there for a second. I apologize. Oh, there we go. Basically, you just got a little lever back here that will release it, and there we go. All right, so it's back to normal, and then I will set this back into my regular straight stitch, because now we are going to flatten it out and do the legs next. All right, so you can see I have it where our seams that we just did is in the front and back, and you put the legs together here, and we're going to sew along this line here, plus do an overcatch stitch, which if you don't want to do an overcatch stitch, you can do a zigzag stitch as well, or you can use a serger. Should have mentioned that earlier, so I do apologize, because this material here, it will probably start to ravel. So I'm just doing overcatch stitch, so to catch it all like a serger machine. Typically for this pattern you use, these are more pajamas, so therefore you use probably more of a knit type of style, which that's what I've done before. So, and don't mind the clothes on the floor there. I'm kind of, as you can see, living out of suitcases right now since I'm staying at my mother's house. Since I'm trying to reduce how much we are going in and out of the house because of my dad having a really low immune system. So, my mom's the only one that leaves the house pretty much, and then my husband comes and visits. Gigi, you don't need to go out there with Daddy. Gigi. Fine, leave me. Don't stay here and sew with me. Gigi. Hey. Hello? Why don't you want to stay here with Mommy? You're not very nice. Alright, I'll get back to sewing, Gigi. Okay, so there is the inner seam, and we get 2 little pant legs. So now I'm going to turn it up 1/4 of an inch and then flip it again and sew it for a hem. And I don't know if that's per the pattern. I'm just doing that for these. So really I only used the pattern piece for the actual pattern. The rest of it I'm kind of doing on my own. So I'm doing all 1/4 inch seams. So let's go ahead and turn in a 1/4 and then turn again for a corner. So it'll be a cute little small hem. You can go bigger if you would like to have a little bit more like an inch hem. But I don't think it's necessary. These are just for him to play in outside, for a pair of shorts to have right this now to play in. And right now it's nice and muddy out in my parents' backyard. So because of all the rain. So we will just do that, and then up here, I'll get to it again when we get to it, but we're going to do a 1/4 inch hem here, and then we will go down more like a inch or so, or however wide I need it to be, because after I do the legs here, I'm actually going to work on the straps next to see how wide of a hem we need up here, because I need to feed that strip through this hem, so it needs to be wider than the strap. So, and then we will leave an opening for the strap to come out. I'm just going to make it real simple, nothing too complicated, at least I hope it's not too complicated for anybody else. So let's get to doing the legs. Alright, so I got the hem on both legs all done, and like I said, I just turned it over 4, then turned it over again a 4th. So, and then I just sewed it around to capture the ends inside. So now I'm going to work on the strips, or the strap, I should say, or the tie, or whatever you want to call it. So I have one going up and down and one going left to right here, so perpendicular to each other and at the very ends. And we're going to sew down this diagonal. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. And then what I do is I cut this corner off here to reduce the bulk. All right, so now when you're gonna iron it out, it creates a strip, and it looks pretty lined up. Pretty proud of myself. I didn't even try. And if you can hear anything in the background, you just hear my son. I got the door open to the back room, so you can hear him. Not sure what he's saying. I don't know if he even knows. So now I'm just going to cut off this, and then I'm going to iron this flat. And then I will go to the next step where I'm going to iron it in half, and then we're going to fold down half into the center here, like a fourth, to make the strips. So I'll come back when I have this all ironed out, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so as you can see, I have it all folded up here. So you fold those down to the half point there and fold it again. So that's how I have the strap or tie pinned. And it is pretty long, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and sew it how I have it, and then I'm going to take it and wrap it around where my son's waist is and tie it like I would tie these pants up, and then mark how long they need to be, and then fold up the ends. So let's get this sewed down. I'm just going to sew down the open side there, about 1/8 of an inch or so down, and that's all I'm going to do for that. My ends are already done up because these are the end of the shirts, but of course, since I am going to be readjusting them for size of his waist, they'll just get flipped over a few times, or however I decide to do, probably something like that. And I may do only one side and then string it through the hem on the top of the pants and then do the second side, because they might be a little bit thick to pull through. But right now we're just going to get this sewed down and get the size that I need it. Alright, so I got the strap all sewed up. Now I know I did say I was going to measure it to be how long I need it by putting it around my son's waist. I did that, and I still can't tell how long, so I think I'm going to go ahead and get the top of the pants ready to go, get threaded through, and get ready and try it on him with the pants to see what the best length for this is. So what I've done is I turned the top of the pants down about 1/2 inch, and then what I'm going to do is take it down, I think about 3/4 of an inch, just so enough for the strap to go through, because this here is about a little bit more than 1/2 inch. So as long as I go down around here in my fold, I should have plenty of room. So I think 3/4 might be making a little bit too small, so I might go down to 1 inch, but I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do. Lay it on after I pin it and get sewed and see. But I'm thinking I need to do about a 3/4 or some around there to make it work. So let's go ahead and get this sewed around here, because I need to get that raw edge tucked in, and then we'll go and decide how far I want that to be down. Okay, so after I did that, I went and folded it down about 15/16 of an inch, and I went ahead and threaded my strap in there as well, and that gives me a lot of room down here. So I'll kind of follow this line here. The only time I'm going to have to really watch where I sew is right here towards the end here, because what I did was I did all that And when it came to the front of the pants here, I went to the front and marked on where I wanted the buttonholes to start. Now, if I would have done this, if I did this a different way, what I should have done was turned it inside out, did the flip, and then flipped it down so where I can just left this open. Well, I did not flip it, and so therefore this would have to go inside, to flip inside the garment. So I had to do the buttonholes, which it would be kind of more like an actual pair of shorts that has a tie. And I got to use my wonderful button one here. So now I'm just going to sew along here and being really, really careful to not go into my string here. Yes, I could have pinned it, sewed it, and then took a safety pin and threaded this through. Because this is kind of bulky, I did it this way, and that's why I have these pins to really, more of these clamp style instead of the actual pins here, to keep this up out of my way. So I have a little piece of scrap here. So this is from my other little project here. Let me find, oops, sorry. Let me find my pen. So basically, we are going to mark this. Now that is where I want to start a buttonhole. And here I have my foot here. I have this for zippers here, right behind this here. This part back here is where you would put a button at. So what I did was I just threaded my string, my thread or strap there, excuse me, and it went through just fine with my finger here. And that's how big the buttonhole will be. So I take my piece of fabric where I marked it. Now it's going to be kind of hard to see. So I don't know if I can get you in here to see. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see where my mark is at. But essentially, I just trying to mark it as best, line up the mark as best as possible here. The light is really, really bright. You can kind of see my mark. And then you just mark it up, line it up as best as you can. And then you just go for it. And then it just creates the buttonhole. Alright, then of course, you pick up, pull it out, cut your strings, and now you have a buttonhole. And then I just use my seam ripper to open up that hole. So I have several buttonholes to choose from here, and I'm using 35. So you just go ahead and mark on your garment on the front of it where you want it, and then line it up as best as you can and go down and do your buttonholes on both sides. And I just lined it up on the white marks here, which is approximately the same amount of distance from the seam here. And then I threaded my strap through, and now I am going to sew all the way around. And once we do that, we are pretty much done, other than, of course, I need to put this on my son and see how long I truly need these. Alright, so I get this sewed up and I will come back. Alright, so I am all done. And what I did was to mark the back is I just cut a little piece of fabric, folded it like we did with our straps, and just stuck it in there and sewed it up. Not the best sewing job, but hey, they're just for play shorts, so Let me get up here so you can see the whole thing. So I think they look pretty cute, and that is basically it. I don't think I don't think it's necessary for me to show you how to do the ends, but I might. I'll go get it, try it on them, see how long they need to be, and I'll just come back and show you how I finish off the ends. It would just basically be something like that. So, let's go do that. Okay, so what we ended up deciding to do is just put knots in it, just so it doesn't come out. It's just for now, and I might end up cutting it up, and then all I would do is just fold this end and fold it again, and then so along here, if I think I need to cut it. So, but for now, we're just gonna keep the knots here, tie in a big bow. It looks real cute on them, and I am all done. So, and the little fabric I use is just a little piece of the extra fabric that I was messing around with to practice my buttonholes. So, real quick, this only took me couple hours to do total. I had to have to take breaks and all that to take care of help out with my little one, and apparently my pant legs are not exactly the same length, but who cares? You can't really tell when it's on him, and he's gonna just play around with him. That's all that matters. He has something to play with, and if he gets them all dirty, they just get washed and go from there. Alright, I hope everyone enjoyed this video, and I hope everybody have a nice day. Please subscribe if you like these type of videos. Shout out down in the comment section if you like it or not, or in the like button. Everyone have a nice day. Bye.